On the news tonight, President Bola Tinubu says Nigerians will overcome prevailing economic challenges. State government warns property developers against encroaching on lands designated for key development projects. Nigerian Communications Commission directs mobile network operators to compensate subscribers affected by poor network services. Abroad, the United States President threatens to obliterate Iran's power plants should ceasefire deal is delayed. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on Delta Television News tonight. My name is Onome Iyarowe. You can also follow our news online on Facebook and YouTube at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba, or visit our website www.dbsasaba.com. Now the news in details. President Bola Tinubu has assured Nigerians that the country would overcome prevailing economic challenges, including electricity shortages and rising transportation costs and inflationary pressures linked to the ongoing Middle East crisis. President Tinubu gave the assurance in Abuja after special prayers marking his 74th birthday at the National Mosque, where he acknowledged the hardship faced by citizens, but expressed confidence in the nation's resilience and determination to prevail. He attributed the current economic strain to external factors beyond Nigeria's control, particularly the Middle East conflict, while calling for global peace and stability. The president appreciated Nigerians for the outpouring of goodwill messages and urged citizens to reflect, give thanks to God, and remain committed to national development. The prayer session, led by the Sultan of Sokoto, represented by the Etsu Nupe, Alhaji Yahaya Abubakar, drew governors, ministers, traditional rulers, and Islamic scholars who offered prayers for the president's wisdom, strength, and country's progress. The Senate has assured Nigerians that adequate safeguards would be put in place to prevent abuse in the proposed state police system currently under legislative consideration. The Senate leader, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, in a statement disclosed that the National Assembly was working on a decentralized policy framework that would promote accountability while strengthening internal security across the country. Senator Bamidele explained that the proposed model aims to devolve policing powers to sub-national authorities to improve security, especially in rural and underserved areas, while ensuring strict measures to prevent political interference. He said the framework would align with global best practices, protect fundamental human rights, and reinforce the justice system to curb misuse of power by political actors. The Senate leader noted that the initiative was being supported by the administration of President Bola Tinubu, with a comprehensive plan already submitted by the Nigeria Police, outlining a phased implementation of a two-tier policing system. The proposal includes both federal and state police structures, with the federal arm handling national security issues, while state units focus on local crimes as lawmakers continue efforts to enhance safety and governance nationwide. Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Maitama-Tuga, has resigned from the Federal Executive Council to pursue his ambition of becoming the governor of Bauchi State in 2027. The ministry confirmed the development through its spokesperson today. Tuga's resignation follows a directive by President Bola Tinubu mandating all political appointees seeking elective offices to step down on or before March 31, 2026. The directive, conveyed by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, is aimed at preventing conflict of interest ahead of the 2027 general elections. The state government has warned property developers against encroaching on lands designated for key development projects across the state. The warning affects areas including the Kwale Free Trade Zone, the Asaba Waterfront City Project, and the Niger City Project in Asaba, as well as other government-acquired lands earmarked for development. A statement signed by the Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Kingsley Emu, says the directive is aimed at safeguarding the vision of the project and protecting investments by credible investors. The statement mandated the State Task Force on Recovery of Government Lands to enforce compliance by removing illegal structures while advising affected individuals to vacate such lands, stressing that the government would not tolerate actions that undermined development efforts. Stakeholders in Iyedame community have been advised to embrace peace and unity following the leadership crisis surrounding the community's President General position. The Special Advisor to the Governor on Peace Building and Conflict Resolution, Chief Edwin Uzo, gave the charge at a meeting between stakeholders from Iyedame community in Ndokwa East local government area and the Sterling Global Nigeria Limited, an oil exploration company operating in the area, held in his office in Asaba. Henry Unagwa reports.
Chief Uzo said the peace meeting was a continuation of deliberation on the Iyedame leadership dispute and reviewed development surrounding the removal of the former President General. He noted that the decision had earlier been endorsed by the Ministry of Women Affairs, Community and Social Development through the issuance of certificates, affirming the legitimacy of the action taken. The special advisor stated that, rising from the meeting, it was resolved that the current President General, Chief Oke Okuduru, continues to lead the community, adding that the former President General of the community had accepted the decision of the people, having publicly shown remorse by kneeling and seeking forgiveness. Chief Uzo issued a strong warning to individuals allegedly attempting to return to the community to cause trouble, urging them to desist. He stressed the need for everyone to allow peace to prevail, noting that the community would recognize only one President General.
Today we've concluded that since the first president has been removed by the community and Women Affairs issued certificate that will stand on that the present president should continue to govern, while the other one should go and rest, because he has accepted defeat by kneeling down, begging the whole community. That shows he knows he was wrong. We've also advised the Sterling Global to go back to a negotiating point where they signed with the earlier PG of 30 years. They should go back and negotiate, since the community is against that, and that is part of why the former president was impeached. They should go back for negotiation. Everybody has accepted to make peace. Everybody has accepted to go in peace, having believing in the governor that there is zero tolerance for crisis, and that everybody must ensure that his community is peaceful.
On the issue involving Sterling Global, the special advisor called on the company to return to the negotiation table based on earlier agreement reached with a former President General. He emphasized the need for renewed dialogue to address concerns and reach a compromise acceptable to all parties. The meeting ended on a positive note, with stakeholders agreeing to maintain peace and align with the state government's zero tolerance for crisis. Participants expressed confidence in the governor's commitment and pledged to work cooperatively to ensure stability and development in Iyedame community.
To continue with this, I think if they continue with this, I think I'm sure most of the community that are going into violence will reduce. Everybody in the community should stay and bring peace to the fold of the community.
Henry Unagwa reporting.
The Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, has directed mobile network operators to compensate subscribers affected by poor network services across the country. NCC, in a statement, said affected users would receive airtime credits based on their average spending and location in areas where service quality falls below approved standards. The Commission explained that the directive was part of efforts to protect consumers and ensure accountability within Nigeria's telecommunications sector. It's noted that poor network performance negatively impacts economic activities, communication, and public confidence, stressing that subscribers should not bear the burden of service failures caused by operators. The NCC also instructed tower companies to reinvest fines imposed on them into infrastructure upgrade to improve network performance. It reaffirmed its commitment to enforcing quality standards, promoting transparency, and ensuring operators invest in network expansion and resilience to meet the growing demand for telecommunication services in the country. The Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, has threatened to embark on industrial action if the federal government fails to address lingering disputes affecting the nation's university system. The warning followed the university's 54th National Executive Council meeting held at Ekiti State University, where it expressed concern over the slow and inclusive renegotiation process with non-teaching unions, and issued a deadline from April 1 to April 30 for the government to conclude and sign a new agreement. The union, led by its national president, Mohammed Ibrahim, condemned persistent salary delays and a hardship imposed on members, calling for immediate payment of outstanding wages and the adoption of a unified salary structure. It also criticized the handling of earned allowances, particularly the 50 billion naira disbursement agreed in 2022, noting the exclusion of some institutions and demanding fair and transparent implementation across all eligible workers. SANU further decried underfunding, deteriorating infrastructure, and insecurity within universities, warning that poor investment in education and research was widening the global competitiveness gap. The union called for improved funding, enhanced campus security, and protection of workers' rights, while reaffirming its readiness alongside the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, to take decisive action if its demands were not met. The West African Examinations Council, WAEC, has released the timetable for the 2026 West African Senior School Certificate Examination for school candidates. According to the council, the examination will commence on April 21 and end on June 19, 2026. The examinations will begin with practical planning sessions in food and nutrition, as well as home management. Staff of Delta Broadcasting Service, DBS Asaba, have been reminded of the power of prayer and the spiritual significance of altars as channels through which God answers supplications. The reminder came at the station's weekly prayer meeting in a message by Pastor Conrad Bayoko of the Blazing Winning Grace Ministry Asaba, who stressed that God remained faithful in responding to sincere prayers offered in faith. Henry Usiayo reports. We'll bring you details of that report in our subsequent bulletins. Governor Sheriff Oborewori has congratulated his deputy, Sir Monday Onyeme, on his 61st birth anniversary, describing him as a loyal partner in governance and an exemplary public servant. Governor Oborewori, in a statement through his chief press secretary, Sir Festus Ahon, commended Sir Onyeme's dedication to duty and his contributions to the development of the state. The governor described his deputy as an unassuming and diligent leader whose support had strengthened the administration's drive for sustainable development. He wished Sir Onyeme good health and long life, reaffirming their strong working relationship and partnership towards the growth and development of the state. Similarly, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly and Chairman Conference of Speakers of State Legislatures in Nigeria, the Right Honorable Imomotimi Guwo, has felicitated the State Deputy Governor, Sir Monday Onyeme, on the occasion of his 61st birthday. In a congratulatory message through his Chief Press Secretary, Nkem Mweke, the Right Honorable Guwo described Sir Onyeme as a dedicated and visionary leader whose tireless efforts in serving Delta State alongside Governor Sheriff Oborewori had been instrumental in shaping the state's progress. The Speaker prayed for God's continued blessings, good health and wisdom on the Deputy Governor as he marked the milestone. You're watching the Delta Television main news. Still to come, United States President threatens to obliterate Iran's power plants should ceasefire deal is delayed. Details in a moment. Stay tuned.
Happy birthday, that is all I can say.
Congratulations! The board and management of Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba heartily congratulates His Excellency Sir Monday Onyeme, Deputy Governor of Delta State, on the remarkable occasion of his 61st birth anniversary. Your Excellency, your unwavering commitment to the service of the people, your passion for grassroots development, and your reputation as a selfless and compassionate leader continue to inspire hope and confidence across the state. As a renowned philanthropist and a true man of the people, your contributions to the growth and well-being of Deltans remain invaluable. The board and management of DBS Asaba celebrate your achievements and commend your dedication to good governance and inclusive leadership. It is our earnest prayer that you are granted greater wisdom, strength, and good health to continue in your noble service to humanity and the state. Congratulations once again, Your Excellency. This is signed by Sir Austin Chikeze, Board Chairman, Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba, and Mrs. Christine Jobome Emetulu, General Manager, Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba.
Every once in a year, there is a special day.
You never get on top smart cash, you don't go pay any shishi. Do am now, my pikin do am for me sharp. If you choose smart cash, no charge you. See you under your nose.
Make something.
No matter the transaction, smart cash will charge you shishi. Whether na airtime or na data you buy, or you want pay for your light or na cable bill, na zero charges for smart cash. This one not be cho. Work is day. Make yourself download Smart Cash app or dial *939# sharp.
Glad to have you back on Delta Television main news. And now from the foreign scene, the United States President Donald Trump has threatened to obliterate Iran's power plants and oil facilities if a ceasefire deal is not reached soon. President Trump says Washington is engaged in what he described as serious talks with Iran's leadership, which he called new and more reasonable. However, he warned that failure to reach an agreement could lead to fresh strikes on key Iranian sites. Iran has, however, rejected the proposal, with its foreign ministry describing the terms as excessive and unreasonable. Meanwhile, global oil prices have surged to about $115 per barrel, with renewed attacks reported across Iran, Lebanon, and Israel. Shipping activities through the Strait of Hormuz have also declined significantly. Spain has barred the United States military aircraft involved in the Iran conflict from using its airspace. The country's defense minister, Margarita Robles, said Spain will not allow its military bases to be used for operations linked to the war. Foreign Affairs Minister Jose Manuel Abers said the move was aimed at preventing further escalation. The Prime Minister, Pedro Sanchez, has consistently opposed the U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran, describing them as reckless and illegal. Back home, Nigeria's banking sector is witnessing increased competition as 33 financial institutions that raised about 4.6 trillion naira under the recapitalization program of the Central Bank of Nigeria begin to deploy fresh funds. Industry analysts say the development is setting the stage for a strong battle among banks for profitable lending opportunities. Findings indicate that the funds were raised through rights issues, public offers, private placements, and strategic investments, enabling the banks to meet regulatory requirements and strengthen their capacity to finance large-scale transactions. Under the new capital framework, commercial banks with international licenses are required to maintain a minimum of 500 billion naira in paid-up capital, representing a significant increase from the previous 50 billion naira benchmark. Leading the pack are top-tier banks, often referred to as the Big Seven, many of which have exceeded the new threshold. Access Holdings PLC was among the first to meet the targets, raising over 351 billion naira through a fully digital rights issue, pushing its capital base above the required minimum. Similarly, Zenith Bank PLC raised about 289 billion naira through a combination of rights issue and public offering, bringing its total capital to over 600 billion naira. Analysts believe the strengthened capital base will enhance banks' ability to support economic growth while intensifying competition across the sector. Let's now join our sports news desk for happenings in the ever-busy world of sports.
Nigeria's Samson Adamu has been appointed caretaker General Secretary of the Confederation of African Football, CAF, marking a significant administrative shift within African football governing body. The announcement was made by CAF President Patrice Motsepe during a press conference in Cairo following a meeting of the organization's executive committee. Adamu's appointment comes as part of ongoing efforts to strengthen leadership and operational efficiency within CAF. He succeeds Vero Mosengo Omba of the Democratic Republic of Congo, who is stepping down after serving as General Secretary since March 2021. Mosengo Omba's tenure had recently come under scrutiny, particularly over his continued stay in office beyond CAF's mandatory retirement age of 63. Despite facing allegations from some staff members regarding an alleged toxic work environment, an internal investigation cleared him of any wrongdoing. Adamu, who previously served as CAF's Director of Competitions since 2018, brings extensive experience to the role. During his tenure, he played a pivotal role in overseeing the organization of major continental tournaments, including the Africa Cup of Nations and various CAF interclub competitions. His appointment is widely seen as a strategic move aimed at ensuring continuity and stability within CAF's administrative structure, especially at a time when the body is implementing reforms to enhance governance and restore confidence in its operation. At least 4 Super Eagles players have left camp ahead of tomorrow's international friendly game against Jordan. They include defenders Calvin Bassey, Shemi Ajayi, and Bruno Onyemaechi, and goalkeeper Maduka Okoye. The trio of Bassey, Ajayi, and Okoye have all picked injuries, but Onyemaechi departs following the birth of his daughter. This was
That's our bulletin for tonight. Just before we go, here is the thought. The universe does not give you what you ask for with your thoughts. It gives you what you demand with your actions. To end Delta Television main news, a look at the highlights. President Bola Tinubu has assured Nigerians that the country would overcome prevailing economic challenges, including electricity shortages, rising transportation costs, and inflationary pressures linked to the ongoing Middle East crisis. President Tinubu gave the assurance in Abuja after special prayers marking his 74th birthday at the National Mosque, where he acknowledged the hardship faced by citizens and expressed confidence in the nation's resilience and determination to prevail. The state government has warned property developers against encroaching on lands designated for key development projects across the state. The warning affects areas including the Kwale Free Trade Zone, the Asaba Waterfront City Project, and the Niger City Project in Asaba, as well as other government-acquired lands earmarked for development. The Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, has directed mobile network operators to compensate subscribers affected by poor network services across the country. And from the foreign scene, we reported that United States President Donald Trump has threatened to obliterate Iran's power plants and oil facilities if a ceasefire deal is not reached soon. So much for Delta Television News tonight. On behalf of the news editor and the production team, I am Onome Yaruwe. You can also follow our news online on Facebook and YouTube at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba, or visit our website at www.dbsasaba.com. Good night. God bless you.
As a host community, try as much as